interesting part of CSS, learning about text fonts and as well as text and font, let's say. So, and I'm going to talk about fundamental text and font styling of CSS. But firstly, let's open up the website fonts.google.com, and here you can choose different fonts, guys. That's the Google Fonts, and here you can play around and then see all. It's in English, it's in Russian, I guess. Alright, here it's in Russian, but that's not interesting right now. We need to just choose the choose the right or the better version of some fonts. So let's say I want to just add to my project let's find something interesting here. That's Kevin, Barlow, Carla, Peter. Let's say crimson text. Okay, we can just add some plus and open up this one. I don't want to add this one. Okay, so we can add these fonts Google APIs.com and add this one to copy and add to our project. In index.html we have the link or this after this CSS link rel, and then we can add some font family to our CSS file. So using the following CSS rules to specify these families. That's the family like just crimson text, and then serif is the, let's say, text version. Okay, so I'm going to add here body, and then font family crimson text serif. Save that, and if you remember my first CSS, how it looks, and then save my index.html as well and refresh. So as you see here, that was changed. Text style automatically changed because we added this style crimson text. Okay, so what is a fundamental text and font styling, guys? What you should know about styling text in CSS. So the interesting part is the fonts. Actually, we've learned about the color property. This color property sets the color of the content of selected elements in your project, and also about fonts. About fonts, just that's the crimson text we are using right now, and font family property. As you see here, I've just gave this font family to whole body because I want to change everything within the body. Okay, so font family property, this allows you to choose or to specify font or lists or fonts for the browser. Okay, so the browser will only apply a font if it's available in your machine, okay, in your computer. So guys, we can assign this font family not only just body, we can just assign only, let's say, only 4 paragraphs, or we can assign for each one. It depends on your choice, okay? But if you want to have some website smoothly, so you should just assign the same font family for whole page. Okay, that's the way how you can do that with assigning with body. Okay, so another thing in font and text fundamentals, you should learn about some properties. I gave you just example only the font family example, and another properties is font size. Okay, so if you want to change the font size in your body, it was that specifies here some pixels, some EMs and REMs. So what is it? AM, REM in pixels in our font size. In our models, CSS models, we have to review the length and then size units, guys. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the pixels. So let's say I have some paragraph, okay, and let's say I have P, okay, open up the P, and I want to give to font size 10 pixels, or let's say 40 pixels. Okay, so for P I have 40 pixels, and I can give my H1 font size 20 REM. Okay, so firstly I'm going to explain you the difference. So for pixels, the number of pixels high you want the text to be. So here we can choose absolute unit, and more time actually we use p pixels. Okay, and EMs, 1 EM is equal to the font size set on the parent element of the current element we are styling. Okay, so this is a little bit tricky if you assign before that something with pixels. Firstly, seeing that, you can just assign new REM or EM. Okay, so for REM, this works just like EM, except that 1 REM is equal to the font size set on the root element of the document. Okay, not the parent element. So let's say I have H1, and I'm going to write for UL as well. And for UL, I have font size. Let's do that the same. Let's for the small sizes, and we'll have 5 REM. In UL here 1.5 E REM. Well, let's just this here to H1 and P is enough for firstly seeing and checking what happens. So you see here P actually 10 pixels, H1 for 5 REM. So I'm going to talk about here and explain to you actually the difference and what changed here. You see how much time more our REM, our pixels than that our H1 is 5 REM, whereas H1, that's our CSS H1, and P, that's 10 pixels. So how much time more than our P tag, okay? So guys, and I'll tell you about REM a little bit. I'll give you some simple, let's say, simple explanation to the CSS units. So for pixels, so EM is relative to the font size of the element. Okay, so T2EM means that 2 times the size of the current font. So 2EM means 2 times the size of the current font. Save that, refresh, 2 times. So REM is relative to the font size of the root element, and pixels, that's the normal unit we've talked about. Okay, so guys, our browser supports these REMs, EMs, and pixels. And another things in our font and size is some font weight, and then let's say I'm going to delete these REMs and pixels. I'm going to write over here font weight bold. Okay, so that's the font property and value. Okay, or we can write some normal, or by default that's normal. Okay, so I want to give some text transform uppercase with bold uppercase. That's the another font property we got the result. You see, so we have the text transform. We can assign some none or nothing, and that was that prevents any transformation. Or lowercase, we can write some lowercase that will transform. Let's write lowercase that will transform all the text to the lowercase. So then capitalize. So transforms all the words have the first letter capitalized. So first letter capitalized. That's the how capitalize works. All right, now or full width we can write, and then another text font properties text decoration. And for the text decoration, I'm going to give some, let's say, overline. No, overline. That's not pretty useful. Underline. Okay. Normal. That's underline. And as you see here, we have on the line for all text, for whole body. So that's the main font size, font text transform, font weight, font family, main CSS text and font. And then I will show you another text shadow. That's the 4 pixel, 3 pixel, 5 pixels in green. Okay, save that, refresh. That's the text shadow I had already in my project. So guys, thank you so much. That was interesting. Learn about some text and font properties. See you in the next one. Now I'm just going to start with you CSS Box Model. So what is a CSS Box Model? We should learn in this tutorial, guys. So CSS Box Model, it's a little bit just small container, as you see here in the picture. That's a container which contains different multiple properties and include borders, in these, as you see here, the margins and the padding and content itself. So our page consists of this box model. So that's why in a CSS we can just assign some properties, assign some values to our paddings and margins. Okay, so box model has multiple properties in the CSS. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the borders and margins and paddings and content. Okay, in this picture illustrates the box model, and then border area. As you see here, we have the green border area here, and this border area, it is the area between margin, as you see here, margin and padding. Okay, so margin area consists of space between border and margin. Okay, so padding area, it includes the element padding, and then area is actually space around the content area and within the border box. A content in the center, if you see here, it just area consists of content like just image or text or any content. And with this simple example, I will show you guys the, I don't want to see that. Okay, I will show you guys with this simple example how actually it works and how can we assign or we give some value to our let's say content, or some, how can we use this box model in our project. Okay, so the first of all, I'm going to show you actually how it works and with the example. So I'm going to delete that. Okay, we have it right now only the body element, and in the body part I'm going to open the div, something with some class, and let's call this class box. Just box is okay. And here I can write some CSS box model. Okay, and that's the CSS box model. So second div, I have second div. I will give ID, and for this ID, box ID. Okay, and I will write over here. So my first box or project with box model. Okay, so now guys, we can just save that and go back to style CSS, and I don't want to just now nothing here, and let's give and create our style. So we have firstly box class, and I'm going right over here, dot and class, no, box, open up, and then let's write, we have the text over here, CSS Box Model, and I want to write this box model with font size, let's say 25 pixels, and text I want it in the center. Okay, so for the box ID, I'm going to giving some paddings and using some margins. All right, the same text I want to just write it text align in a center. And I'm sorry, I want to give some border. You know, how can we write our borders? Let's write 20 pixels, solid green, okay, or solid blue. Let's do it with blue. All right. then save that and go back to our project. So I'm going to open up my project. So we have right now CSS Box Model and my first project with Box Model, guys. As you see here, I have border with 20 pixels and the center, the text within the border. As you see here, I've just created box ID, I just created border, and my content within this border. So I'm going to use the padding and margin. All right, so let's write over here, padding top, from the top side I want 30 pixels. Open up, refresh. Okay, I want to move down 30 pixels. And padding bottom, I want to 10 pixels. I will show you how actually it works. From bottom, I've just 10 pixels, as you see here, 10 pixels down, it moved. Oh, if I will do 50 pixels, it will come a little bit more. This space is a little bit bigger, more than this space, because I have here 30. If I do it 30, that will be the same, right? But margin, how works the margins, guys? Margin, I will do the margin completely 40 pixels. Refresh. Now that's the box model. If you remember, margin over here, the border here, padding here, content here. So I gave 50 pixels from everywhere, but I can give 40 pixels. 40 pixels from left, okay? 10 pixels from the top, 30 pixels from right, 25 pixels from bottom. Let's see what happens. All right, but actually that's not the better way. So 10 pixels and 10 pixels. If we will do that, that's from left and right, from bottom and top 20 pixels. Do that. Alright, save and do that. Refresh. So as you see here, right now it works actually. So guys, that's our box model and main things. I've just tried to explain how it actually works. And again, in HTML elements can be considered as boxes. So in CSS, this box model term is used if you are talking about some design in our style. The box model, that's the main term. Okay, so you can just write and then practice every time for learning actually how it works. We can give right over here button margin top, margin left, and see actually and understand actually how it works. Let's say I want only 10 pixels from the bottom, okay, or from everywhere. Just let's say from the top. So you can check every time and see actually how it works. All right. So that's the way learning about box model ways, guys. So that's all about the box model. I'm going to see you in the next part.